Welcome to Sugar Pills, a practical guide to self-care, where your host, writer, actor, and producer Candy Washington helps you live a more joyful life with a cheeky dash of pop culture news. Be sure to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and join the conversation on Instagram at Candy Washington. Let's go!
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's me, Candy. I thought I would just do a fun Thursday Thoughts open chat. I have nothing prepared. We could talk about self care, relationships, reality TV, pop culture, whatever the F we want to talk about up in here. So I just thought I would come on and jump in. So I will start with, let's see. What is everybody's thoughts on Michael B. Jordan and Lori Harvey? There's a part of me that feels like it's all just kind of like a stunt. It's like a media stunt. Do you know what I mean? Like just trying to get publicity for her skincare line, get publicity for his movie that he's now doing. I think it's like the fourth Creed or something like that. It just all seems like a big stunt to me. And like Steve Harvey's weighing in and all of this stuff. And I never knew that Michael B. Jordan and Lori Harvey were like the standard for black love. Like when they broke up, everyone's like, "Oh, we're up in arms, black love." I didn't realize that they were like the go-to black love couple. That definitely escaped me on that one. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, I'll wait for you guys to come in, ask your questions, and we'll have fun doing that. Let's see, what else is up? It's really hot here. I live in California and I am melting. Like, it is super hot, super, super hot, literally insane. That's right, you guys. As you come in, be sure to drop your candy canes in the comment box, say hello, and ask any questions. This is literally just an open chat. Nothing prepared. Just whatever you guys come in and want to talk about, whether it's me talking to myself or me talking to 100 people, we're going to do it. So just come in and jump on it, you guys. Yeah. Oh, very cool. So what else is going on? What else is going on in the world? I don't know. I've been doing a lot of podcasting lately. So that's kind of what I've been doing. A lot of self-care, self-love, and I've also gone into like talking about like relationship stuff, like how to have healthy relationships with yourself, obviously, of course, but also in romantic relationships. How do you do healthy communication? How do you have self-respect? All of that stuff. So if you guys have any questions on relationship advice or dating advice, ask them in the chat box or DM me or send me any information. We can cover them on our channel and on the podcast as well, or today if anybody wants to chat about it. Feel free to pop your questions down in the box. Let's see what else is going on. I don't know, you guys. I've just been like chilling and doing my own thing. Is anybody into manifestation? So I'm kind of into that. I'm kind of into manifestation stuff. But I've been drifting away from law of attraction and really more into law of assumption. To me, I feel like law of attraction is more of just like a mindset. It's more of a lifestyle tool. Like you want to care about how you feel. But I don't really look at law of attraction as like a manifestation tool. I think it's more of just like a being aware of how you feel and wanting to feel better. And I think that's great. But I also think there's something to be said for honoring how you feel just as you feel and not feeling this stress or not feeling this pressure to always feel good or always be high vibe. Or if you're not in the highest mood ever, you're going to somehow attract bad things to happen in your life. Or if you're not high vibe all the time, then somehow something bad is going to happen to you. And I just don't believe that at all. I just think that's BS. And I actually was talking about it. I did this podcast interview with this awesome girl. Her name's Sequoia. Hey, Two Back Please. What is going on? To Be Black Mavis is married too long to care. Oh, that is so funny. That is so funny. That's really funny. I hear that. I definitely hear that. But yeah, Insane. So yeah, what questions do you guys have? Like, what do you guys want to talk about? I have nothing prepared. This is completely impromptu, just to chat. Because I know I've been doing so much self love and self care. I wanted to check in with you guys and see how you guys are doing, what questions you have, and what else is going on in the world. Let's see. We could talk love and marriage Huntsville, and we could talk love and marriage DC. I have thoughts on both. Let's start with love and marriage DC. Okay. When it comes to Love and Marriage DC, am I the only one that sort of has mixed feelings on Monique? Like, I don't dislike her. Like, this is no tea, no shade when it comes to Monique. I actually really loved her on Real Housewives of Potomac. I thought she was really cool. I thought she was fun. I was definitely understanding her side of things with everything that happened with Candace. But on Love and Marriage DC, like, I don't know if they're just really trying to do a storyline, but it seems real. She just seems really like she's gaslighting Chris. She's very prickly. Like she's very prickly. She's very on edge. She's just kind of mean to him. She's always talking down to him. She's always criticizing him. She's always nitpicking him in public and in private. And honestly, I kind of feel bad for Chris. Like I feel like Chris genuinely is a really good, solid guy. And the way she puts him down for the way he's a father, the way he's a husband, the way he shows up in the world, I'm like, girl, like not being like you need to settle for anything, but also a healthy perspective of like you have an amazing husband who clearly loves you, who clearly provides for you, who also provides and takes care of your children. Like, what the heck? I don't know. Maybe I'm the only person who feels that way, but Monique kind of rubs me the wrong way. She's coming across as very, very prickly and just very nitpicky. And I feel like Chris said, he feels like he's walking around on eggshells. And that's not a good way to be. I feel like Monique has a lot of internal work that she needs to do. I think she has a lot of, to me, she seems like a person holding a lot of trauma and a lot of hurt. And she kind of projects it all on Chris, like everything is his fault. Like, for example, the whole like the letter situation, right? I guess they were like in couples therapy or something like that. And like the therapist was like, oh, well, you guys need to write a list to each other or something like that. And Monique was very like mad and being very prickly to him, being like, you didn't make the list because you didn't think it was important and all this stuff. But she wasn't actually listening to what he said because what he said was, I didn't really understand what was expected of me in the list and I wasn't really sure what to write. So if the list is about what you're passionate about, who you are as a person, maybe he's still figuring himself out. So it's not that he isn't being attentive to you as a wife, but like he is also his own person. He is also on his own journey. Everybody doesn't know exactly who they are and what they're passionate about and all this stuff, and it can just articulate that to you in this picture perfect way. Like she wasn't even like listening to him. And she kept putting him down like it was all on him. And it's like, who wants to be romantic with someone who's a jerk all the time to them? Quite frankly, it was insane. Hey, Donna D. She's like, I actually feel like Monique is a bully and feels like she is smarter than Chris. She's going to mess up a good thing in Chris. Listen, I agree with you 100%, Donna D. I agree with you 100%. She is so nitpicky and she criticizes him and she puts him down and all this stuff. And I'm just looking at this like, Chris, you could do better. You know, like I like Monique as a person, but what she has been displaying as a person, I don't know her. You know, I'm not personally involved with her. I've never met her. I don't know her. So let me just clarify that. I just meant like in general. Um, but to me, Chris seems like a cat. She seems like a great guy. You know, he is totally financially stable and smart. He is present with the children. And the problem that I have with Monique is that if you aren't performing the way in which she thinks you should perform, then it's a problem. She doesn't allow Chris to be himself. And maybe that's why he doesn't know how to answer these questions on this list and all that other stuff, but it's crazy. To be Black Native says, I'm beginning to understand why Chris' mom called her a heifer. You know what I was thinking about that? That's a really good point, Tubi. What I was thinking about that was I feel like Chris married his mother. I feel like Chris's mom and Monique, I bet you they have very, very similar personalities. You know how people say that you date your parents, like you marry your mom, you marry your dad. I bet you Chris's mom is a lot like Monique because Chris is a very passive, submissive person. And when I say passive and submissive, I'm not talking about effeminate. I'm not talking about beta, or I'm not talking anything derogatory. I'm actually giving it as a compliment. So when I say that he seems more passive and submissive, I don't mean it like in a demasculating way. I actually mean it as a compliment for him. He seems like he really is present and trying and giving in the relationship and not overbearing and not all of these toxic masculinity type things. So I feel like he married a woman who is fully in her masculine, but I think she's in it in a like too far. You know what I mean? And I feel like his mom is probably very like that, overbearing, very controlling, probably hypercritical. So I feel like probably the reason why Monique and his mom didn't get along because they're probably very similar, and they both probably wanted to be the woman in charge. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I feel about that. So I'm happy you brought that up. So yeah, Monique, girl, you need to get it together because Chris is amazing. He's a fantastic father. He looks like he's a great husband, and unless she wants to, just like you said, mess up a good thing, she better chill out. All right, let's talk about the other couples. Oh, hey, Donna D. She goes, I kind of thought Chris might be dyslexic when I heard him say that he had a aha moment rather than an aha moment. It made me think that might be he not be comfortable writing things down. Oh yeah, I think when he said that was probably just like a mental fumble. You know what I mean? Like sometimes like a moment. But what he said was, and I'm happy you brought this up. But what he said was about the list. He was saying how he didn't really even understand what the actual assignment was, right? He was saying how he didn't know like what he was really supposed to put in the list. And I guess the list was about like who are you as a person and what are you passionate about, right? It's not always easy to know who you are as a person. And it's not always easy to know what you're passionate about and to write a list about stuff like that when you don't really even understand what the assignment is difficult. And I agree. I feel like the way Monique handled it was completely wrong. She was yelling at him and berating him, not letting him talk, not letting him finish a sentence. She just had everything in her mind that she knew and was just so disrespectful to him. Where he was like trying to talk and be like, "Well, this is why I didn't understand. Like, this is why I didn't do it. Like, I didn't really understand." And you're talking about who I am and all that stuff. Like, she needs to realize that he is his own man. He's his own person, and he has to be on his own journey. You know, if he doesn't know who he is, then how can he communicate who he is to you? And she wasn't being a partner. She just wanted the assignment check done. And speaking personally, for me, when I am in partnership with someone, like with me and my partner, if he is being demeaning to me, I don't want to be romantic with him. So I understand Chris's point. You're constantly criticizing me. You're constantly putting me down. You're constantly nitpicking at me. You're not actually listening to me, but you expect me to be this picture perfect partner, this romantic person here and all the time. Absolutely not. When my partner is, well, not when, because he doesn't treat me that way. If I was with a partner like that, I would be the same way Chris is. He said he walks around on eggshells. Who wants to be in a relationship with someone like that? Not me. Not me. Okay, so let's look at some of the other couples. Oh, do you guys want to hear my conspiracy theory about Winter and Kevin? I'll tell you. Okay, so my conspiracy theory when it comes to Winter and Kevin. So Winter is the one who has like the half shaved head, and she was like quickie married and now getting a quickie divorce to Kevin, who I think she's 40 and I think he's in his 60s or something like that. And she was saying how he's like this con artist, he's a scammer. You know, he was living in his parents' basement, but he never told me it, but I never saw it, but we got married, da 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 da. This is my conspiracy theory, and this is what I think actually happened. I think Winter and Kevin, very similar to Tiffany and Big Lou on Love and Marriage Huntsville. I think Winter and Kevin, maybe they were dating casually, but they got wind of, hey, there's this show and we want to be on the show. but they're casting married couples. Well, let's just do a quickie marriage, right? They didn't really know each other, but they both were in on the scheme to get married in order to be cast on the show. But I think Winter thought that the only scam going on was let's just get married to be this couple to get cast. Whereas Kevin had all these other underlying scams going on. So now she's kind of shook because she's like, oh, I thought I was just doing this sort of like high level scam of just, oh, we got married to be on the show and that's it. But then she realized, who the bleep did I actually marry? And it turns out he actually is this long term con artist scammer, blah, blah, blah. Again, this is all alleged. I'm just repeating what the show said. So alleged, 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 right? So that's what I think happened. I think they both were scammers. I think they got a quickie marriage because I'm sorry, you never went to the man's house and you didn't have sex or whatever she was saying, something about being celibate and all this stuff. Listen, I think they got a quickie marriage. I think they fronted to the producers. They fronted to Monique and Chris because even in their conversations, they're like, well, when we were talking, everything seemed fine. You seem like this great couple. I think Winter and Kevin got together, got a quickie marriage, fronted like they were this happy couple to get cast on the show. And then Winter got caught with the ultimate okey doke because she realized that Kevin was actually like a career scammer and she's caught up in a bigger scam than she actually even knew. So I think she was just scamming for the come up to be on the show, and then that's who she married. That's what I think. Hey, Donna D. She goes, when Monique broke down and cried, then Chris just scooped her up like she was a child. She's not going to find someone that tender and caring and strong. She better check herself. Listen, girl, I agree. I agree. Chris to me is so amazing. Like I think Chris is a stand-up guy. He's intelligent, he's sensitive, he's present, he's faithful. There's no, there's no scandals. No one's giving like he's not in the blogs and all this other stuff. She better I agree with you. She better check herself because I think Chris is going to realize and this is funny because a lot of times we see this dynamic with the sexes inverted, right? We see like it's the husband who is cold and is critical and all this stuff, and it's the woman who's like giving and all that stuff. But I feel like the roles have been reversed when it comes to to Monique and Chris, and I think that Chris will one day realize his worth, and if she's treating him that way, he might come to terms knowing that he deserves better. And this is no shade to Monique. I don't know her personally. Just I'm only basing this on what I have seen on the show, and that is it. It's not a personal attack by any means. Just what I see on the show, she is the one that has the most growth to do, not him. How do you expect someone to show you who they are? How do you expect someone to be romantic and going above and beyond with you when every moment you spend belittling and criticizing and putting down? Like even when he was working out, she went into the workout room when the trainer, oh, I can't believe he's working out. Chris always says this, and I'm always like, go work out. And I can't believe he's doing it. Even the trainer was like, girl, bye. And Chris was like, okay, like, oh. Like you can't continuously put a man down privately and publicly, and by public, literally on a national show, and expect that relationship to be sustained. It's just it's just I don't see it being sustainable. But that's kind of what I see with Winter and Kevin going on in their divorce. Okay. Irana and Jamie. I hope I pronounced your names right. Irana, yeah. To me, they're my favorite couple on the show, but they still have some cracks going on. I think that he cheats and she knows and just decides to look the other way. That to me was pretty apparent. To me, they seem more like friends. They seem more like two people who are now best friends and are just doing life together, and they have these kids and they have these businesses. But I don't really see the romantic side of their relationship. Like I think they've already said how like they aren't really having sex and all of this stuff, and she was just like, well, I've never seen the other stuff with the other woman, so whatever. To me, that's a cop out. To me, you're basically saying, yeah, he does his own thing, but as long as he doesn't do it in my face, whatever. To me, they seem more like best friends now. Like they probably started out very romantic or whatever. And at this point, they're just like, let's just ride this on out. Okay. Let's see. Quick and Ashley. Is it just me? But I'm not an Ashley person. I don't think that she's funny. I don't think that she's direct. I think she's very wounded and I think she's very mean. Like I don't get Ashley. Like to me she walks around just like this all the time. It's like scrunched up and just not happy. Like I don't yeah, I'm not into Ashley. I think she's just very mean. I think the way she came out Winter was crazy. I think that she's probably suffering. She just seems like a sad person. I don't think she's funny. I don't think she's direct. I just think she's like a mean person. And when she said that Ariana was her associate or whatever she called her, affiliate, whatever, I was like, oh, okay, wow, that's what we're doing. So yeah, I don't. Ashley's not really it for me. And you know what the show is missing? Oh wait, hey Donna D. She goes, I hate to see a beautiful black family break up. Me too. So I hope Monique works on herself. She is showing us that she needs more work than Chris does. 100%. 100%. She needs so much more work than Chris needs. 100%. And Donna D says, Ashley thinks she's all that in a bag of chips. I agree. She does. She thinks she's all that in a bag of chips, and she's really not. She's really not. I think she's deeply insecure and she's deeply wounded, and she just really needs to get her act together and stop being so mean to people. But you know what I think that the show is missing overall is fun. That's what I put because like I wanted to really like the show. I wanted to like I don't know who I thought Monique was gonna be like, but not like this. I didn't know Monique was like this, if that makes sense. And I think the show in general isn't a fun show, and that's what it's missing. You know, like reality TV, there should be an element of fun. Like Real Housewives of Potomac is a fun show. It's funny, it's fun, there's drama, they kiki. This show to me just isn't fun. It's heavy, it's kind of dark, it's kind of just like looming, right? Like I don't really see the fun in the show, if that makes sense. It's not a fun show to me. And that's kind of what it's missing. So that's kind of my thoughts on them. Anybody else got any questions or want to talk about anything else? This is really just a fun, open chat. Thought I would jump on here. Any pop culture news? I told you guys what I thought about Lori Harvey and everybody else. So yeah. Donna D says the most fun part was at the school for the blind. Yeah. And that was another thing. I love their son. I love their son. I think he's great. And I'm happy that he spoke up for himself and he was just like, I don't want to be a DJ. Like, want to work at Apple and I want to do other stuff. Like, I thought that was pretty cool that he like had the wherewithal to like stand up for himself. But yeah, like that was the most fun of the show. It's not a fun show. It's very heavy. It's very dark, and it's getting harder to watch, which kind of sucks because like I really wanted to like it. I really wanted to like it. I really wanted to support it. But oh, speaking of dark shows, I called it. Love and Marriage Huntsville totally off the rails at this point. Totally off the rails. Like we're having family reunions just to jump Marceau. And like I'm not a Marceau advocate. I'm not team Marceau by any means. But when you literally have a family reunion and the entire family reunion is literally just to talk about Marceau cheating, I'm flabbergasted. And then the cousins being like, I have another baby on the way, and this, that, and the third, and I'm getting divorced. It was really weird. The last episode I saw was that with Tisha's family. It was weird. Like the one cousin came to talk about she's getting a divorce, and then the other cousin came, said he had another baby on the way with another woman that like he's also going through divorce. And then everybody was just talking to Marceau about cheating as if it was like a group counseling. It was just weird to me. The whole thing has gotten really weird and really dark. And then Marcel and Martel, I'll just say allegedly fighting and all this stuff. Like it's just I don't know what that show is anymore. And I used to love Melody, but no, like her work is showing it's just too much. That show has lost the fun too. It just went too dark. And it's lost its fun too. The show is honestly only about now just talking about internet and blog rumors and people fighting, and that's really the show now. Just this was said on the blogs. Are you cheating? The blogs. Fight. And what else is going on in the show? I mean, Tiffany's trying to find her biological parents. That's a great storyline, but also kind of a snore, you know? Hey, Dondi, Monique supposedly got about $50 million from Netflix, I heard. Congratulations, Monique. Oh, the other Monique. Yeah, yeah. To be Black Native says, do you think there's any truth rumor about Monique and the trainer? No, no. The thing is, I don't think Monique is a cheater. Like, I don't think that Monique cheated on her husband. And I also definitely don't think that Monique had the A word with the baby. I think she really did lose the pregnancy naturally, unfortunately, and I don't think that was the trainer. I think that that was really the ladies, some of the ladies coming together to try and take Monique down. Because I think on the outside, you think Monique is perfect and has everything, and unless you're secure in yourself, I can see how they could be jealous of that and try and take her down. I think those were probably just made up rumors, but I don't think Monique and the trainer had anything going on. She doesn't strike me as a cheater. To me, Monique's issues are more emotional and mental. And by mental, I don't mean like derogatory. I just think her issues are more emotional. The way she deals with stress, the way she deals with communication, expectations, and all of that stuff. That to me, it's more like her interpersonal relationship with him, more so than I think that she's a cheater. I think those rumors were just started because they wanted to take her down. Hey, Donna D, that last episode appeared to be a pilot for a spinoff with Tisha's family and the Scotts. It did. It did. It really, really did. But to me, it was a bad pilot because if you're. Again, it goes back to fun. Like, I want to see, in general, but in particular, I want to see the Black reality shows of them having fun again. Not just the divorce and baby mama drama and are you cheating and blog stuff. Like that's just more of the same. Like, yeah, it's drama, yeah, it's this or that, but I want it to be fun again. I want to laugh. I want to be inspired. Like I don't know. That's just kind of how I feel with it. Let me know what you guys think about it. Yeah. What else is going on? That's been pretty much it. I've been doing a lot of like I said before, working on my podcast a lot. So there's a lot of content on here for like self-care and self-love and relationships. So if you guys have any of those questions, drop them down, let me know. Let's see what's been going on in pop culture. Oh, so you said Monique got the 50 million from Netflix, which I think that's great. I think she should get that. But what do we feel about Monique versus DL Hewley? See, this is the thing. And even with the Monique and the Oprah and the Lee Daniels stuff, I don't buy Monique's whole thing about, oh, you guys are trying to keep me down. That's how you always treat Black women and blah, 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 blah. She took no accountability for the fact that her daddy slash husband slash manager was the one who was really sabotaging her relationships in the industry and sabotaging these contracts. And when it came to her versus DL Hewley, I thought she was dead wrong. Like, why are you going after DL Hewley when you have an issue with where you are in the lineup? That's not his decision. If you have a problem with where you're in the lineup, you talk to your agent or manager and then they talk to the actual event producers. Like that's how you do it. Like going up there and talking about DL and his family and talking about the trauma that his daughter went through. Like I'm really just confused. And also like what has Monique done for Black women? I'll wait. So I'm happy she got the money because I do believe that she deserved it from Netflix. But in the other buckets, I think that she uses a lot of good buzzwords in order to justify her and her husband's or her daddy's poor behavior. Like, of course, you want to see Black women win. Of course, you want to see Black women treated fairly. Of course, you want to see Black women making equal pay, or at least like the pay that they actually deserve, actually being valued. Yes. And the people that she talked about, she did some interview. She named a bunch of other Black women who had been discriminated against, and, they only get their flowers when they're dead, and blah, 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 all that stuff. Yes, that's true. But Monique, that's not you. Yes, you made a bad deal with Netflix, and I'm happy that you fought and got the money you deserved. But the way you treated Oprah and Lee Daniels and the whole situation with Precious, and the way you treated DL Hughley was dead wrong. I think the other person was like Tyler Perry, right? Was dead wrong. So don't use the plight of the Black woman as a way to justify your poor behavior. And I hate that because it happens enough in real life where Black women has so much racism against us and sexism against us and bigotry against us and biases against us. It happens enough, and it's very, very real, that when you conflate that with your poor behavior, you take away from when it happens for real to someone. Like, I don't think that Monique's situation with Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels, and Oprah and all of that, and DL Hughley, had anything to do with Monique being a Black woman. It had everything to do with her bad behavior and her daddy manager messing stuff up. But when it came to Netflix, I agree. She should have fought for the money that she deserved, and I'm really happy that she got it. Oh, let's see what you guys are saying. Donna D. She goes, that's the part that got me about Monique attacking Candace. Candace was the only one saying that they shouldn't be spreading that rumor about Monique's baby because the baby looked like Chris, etc. Okay, to that point, though, the reason why Monique was attacking Candace was they had multiple things that was going on in their friendship. But when it comes to that, it was because Candace was privy to the conversations. And Candace is the one who admitted this. Remember, she went on Instagram Live and told it all about how they were all sitting around after Andy Cohen's baby shower. They were all sitting around after the baby shower, and they were talking about creating these storylines about Monique and the baby and Chris and all that stuff. But Candace never gave Monique the heads up. Candace told Karen, and Karen was the one who told Monique. So Monique's issue with Candace was, you're in this room and these women are plotting to question the paternity of my child, to question whether or not I had the A word regarding my baby and the trainer rather than having lost it naturally. And you're supposed to be one of my best friends or my closest friend out of these women, and you say nothing to me, but you go and you tell Karen. So in that situation, I understand Monique, because I'm like, if you are my friend and you're in a room with women who are literally plotting against me and my family, and you don't come to me and tell me, but you tell somebody else, then you're really showing me who you are to me. And I think that was Monique's issue with Candace. You were present when they were saying all this stuff, but you never came and told me. So I think that's really what her issue was with them. What type of relationship do you know Monique has with her biological dad, bonus dad, uncle, or granddad? Oh, you meant Monique Samuels. Hey, Donnie, gotta go. Thanks for the good conversation. You're welcome, sweetheart. I think Monique has a good relationship with her dad from what she has said. I believe because her parents were married for like 20 plus years, and then they ended up getting divorced at the end. They ended up getting divorced after like 20 something years. But I think she said growing up she was bullied. Sorry. Or something like that. But I think good. Because remember when she made that shady comment and she was like, oh yeah, like I don't want to end up like my parents getting divorced after 20 something years, or like Chris's parents, they're just friends. Like, you know what it is about Monique? There's no softness to her. She's very hard. There's no femininity. There's no softness. There's no empathy. She's just a very hard person, which is why I think there must be some type of trauma underneath that. There's something going on in her where she has just really closed herself off and has gotten really, really hardened, if that makes sense. Woohoo! Okay, you guys, thanks for hanging out with me. This has been a fun, open chat. Again, I had nothing planned. I just wanted to come on and say hi and kiki. So, if there's nothing else, put it in the chat box now. Anything you want to ask, anything you want to talk about. We are going to get out of here on this Thursday afternoon. Okay, you guys. Thank you for spending this time with me. As always, I love you and take care of yourself and each other. Bye.
Welcome to Sugar Pills, a practical guide to self-care, where your host, writer, actor and producer Candy Washington helps you live a more joyful life with a cheeky dash of pop culture news. Be sure to subscribe, leave a 5-star review and join the conversation on Instagram at Candy Washington. Let's go!